All right, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? Okay, great. So just getting started, want to let everyone know we're currently live. This is Casey Stubbs. Very excited to be here today. I'm going to be starting at 2 o'clock, but today I'm going to be sharing with you the bonus training from the Full-Time Trader. And the Full-Time Trader is a training program that we created to cover trading from the beginning to the end, from beginner all the way down to trading successfully, all the way up to rather. So we're going to start that out in 15 minutes, right at 3 o'clock, because we gave everybody a heads up, let everybody know. But I'm Casey, and I am the founder of Trading Strategy Guides, and I'm really excited about giving you some bonus training for the Full-Time Trader course. And just another heads up is I've been giving this course away for the last week. And normally we sell it on the website at tradingstrategyguides.com, but because of everything that's been going on right now with the coronavirus and everybody staying at home and people losing work and people having to work from home, we really wanted to help people out, get them a head start into the markets and give them some foundational information that they could start to use to learn to trade from home. So if you guys are interested in that type of training, the access to the course is actually in the link of the description of this live video. And if you didn't get access to the course yet, we definitely want to do that. But today is just going to be some bonus content around that, around the course. So the course is really good, and it goes in a lot of detail, but I wanted to dive in and talk about a few extra things that the course doesn't hit, and to hit some extra questions and comments if there's anything else, and a couple other bonus things in the course that I think just after going through it quite a few times that I wanted to add to it just to help you guys out because I don't know where everybody's at as far as getting started and where they're at in their trading journey. So looking forward to giving you this bonus content today. We're going to be starting in about 11 minutes. If you guys if you could just give me a heads up, make sure you guys can hear me okay, as just doing a quick sound check. Hopefully you guys can hear everything good here. Okay. Just waiting for that. All right. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, so now that I got everybody chatting it up, we're going to be starting in 10 minutes, but before I did start, has anybody in here so far? It looks like we've got, how many people do we have? I just was looking at it. It looks like we got about 30 people so far, so that's good, getting some people to show up. How many of you guys have accessed this free course? If you've went ahead and accessed the free course, please let us know. Please let us know that you've been able to get access to it. That would be very helpful. Okay, good. So excellent. So we got some people that have the course, and the way that it's going to work, and I'll be explaining this again, but the way that it's going to work is that it's going to be dripped into modules. And so if you're looking at my screen and you don't have all the modules that I have, don't worry, because I have admin access and I have all the modules. But later on, Those will be getting released to you shortly. The reason we drip the access is so that it's not too much information at once. We want you to slowly be able to take it in as you develop it. And Morgan wanted to know where to get access. It's for a limited time only. We're giving everyone access. It's in the description of the video. And it's in the description. And so today we're going to be talking about some bonus content based off of that. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. And I've got some great information and some things that's going to help you advance to the next level in your trading a little bit quicker. And I honestly feel like this type of training that I'm going to be teaching, it's a foundation. I'm going to go over the foundation today in about 8 minutes when we start. I feel like this foundation is really solid. It's a really solid foundation, and based off of that, this foundation is going to help you guys get started quicker, right? And is that something that you guys would be interested in, is getting concepts that are really solid on a foundation early on so that you can start having success in the market a little bit faster than what you would normally have? A lot of times when people are talking about trading, it takes them a long time to get the success that they're looking for, and a lot of it is because they don't have all of the pieces. There's a couple pieces that are missing, and I know for me, it took me a real long time, and it was because I had a lot of missing pieces, and that was very difficult for me to get a hang of some of these market things that I just couldn't find taught anywhere. And once I found them, it kind of opened my eyes and helped me really get to the next level quickly. And so so that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about, just the foundation today. I'm going to go over the modules. It's going to be starting in about 7 minutes. I'm really excited about today's training. Thanks a lot for coming on board. We're getting a lot of people coming in. And again, if you haven't accessed the course yet, you get full access. It's in the description, in the link below in the video, in the chat, or in the description area. There's a link. It says Full-Time Trader Course Access. You can just download it and it will give you a username and password, and it'll be free. Once you get access to it, you'll get this free forever. You'll be able to use this training. And there in the first module, there's 7 sections, and then there's a quiz to help you get your knowledge in place, make sure that you have a full understanding. And it's been really useful for a lot of traders. We've had many people go through this course, and it took us a long time to put the course together, and so we're really excited about it. Actually, the course is not live, Ariel. The course is it's like a videos and PDFs. And I'm going to go ahead and show everybody exactly what they're going to see today in the course. They're going to see the whole thing. Everything is going to be totally in front of them. And I'm just giving people bonus training today. Today's just the bonus training. And it's not the course. It's complementary to the course. I feel like what we're going to talk about today is just to help you guys. And then I'm going to let you guys ask some questions too. So that should be really useful on top of everything else, is being able to answer any of your questions that you may have as far as that goes. So I think it's going to be really cool to be able to see you guys get some of that feedback that you need to help you get to the next level in your trading. So we're getting some people coming in. Very excited about today. And really going to be a good session today here on the bonus training. So thanks again for everybody for coming up. Hopefully this has been really helpful. And hey, you're welcome, Daryl. Thank you for supporting us and for getting this. You know, our ultimate goal here, the goal for this training is to help people be able to earn some extra revenue from home, or maybe even work from home by trading the markets. Trading the markets has sidetracked a lot of people, but we want to be able to help you collect some money from the markets. Does that sound like something that you guys want? Is that something that sounds really interesting to you guys? And right now, I'm not going to be talking too much about options. The stock market and the options market has been a little crazy. It's a little more advanced. We could be putting out an advanced course on options trading later, but right now the primary focus is Forex, stocks, and futures trading, not options. So Forex, stocks, and futures is what this is going to primarily cover. And Danny, that's great that you want to be a full-time trader. Then you just signed up for the right course. You stick around with us, and we're going to be helping you guys out to be able to have access to that. And so just keep that in mind, what your goal is. I always say that it's important to have a goal in mind. And if you want to be a full-time trader, if you want to trade from home, you want to make some money from home, then you need to have a goal. Always start with the end goal. So if you have that end goal, then it helps you get to the target. I say this in trading all the time. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a target, how are you going to ever reach it? One of my advanced techniques that I talk about a lot is trying to hit bigger winners and having a target to hit them. You're not going to hit them all the time, but I'll tell you one thing. You're certainly not going to hit them if you don't aim for them. Does that make sense to you guys? You've got to have a target. You've got to have a goal. You've got to have a standard of measurement, or you're never going to have success. You're never going to hit your targets. And so that's something that a lot of traders don't do. They just start out and they go without their goals. And so, that's one of the reasons why we named this course Full-Time Trader, is because we want to help you establish a goal right from the very beginning, and that is becoming a full-time trader. And when I say full-time, that can mean a lot of different things to different people. It might mean trading on a daily chart and only trading for 20 minutes a day, but then that's how you make your living. How would you like it if you could trade 20 minutes a day and that be your full-time job? And does that sound like something that you guys would want? It doesn't have to be. Some of the people are thinking, yeah, that's what I want. It doesn't have to be, but you still have to set a goal. Whether you want to trade 20 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours, 4 or 5, whatever it is, set your goal, set your plan, decide what you want to do. And we're going ahead and we're going to be starting here in 1 minute. So let me know where you guys are from today. For everybody that's in the channel, let me know. I love to hear about where you guys are from. It's always very exciting because we get people from all over the place, different time zones, different parts of the world. And it always excites me to see that we're online into today's online generation, talking to so many different people all over the place. All right, so Kevin's from the Bahamas. That sounds pretty cool. Hopefully you guys are all doing well there. I know everybody's been a little crazy right now with what's going on in the world, but that's one of the reasons why I think trading is such a great thing, is because you can do it from home. You can make a living from home. You can make extra revenue from home, and that's really something that people are really excited about right now. And the thing is, though, it's not going to be an easy thing, right? But it is possible. And with me here, I want to help you take some shortcuts. And let me just be really clear. There's always a process in learning, right? But what I mean by shortcuts is I want to help share with you, learn some of the obstacles that I couldn't see, that had to hit me in the face about 20,000 times before I finally learned it. So would you like to be interested in getting some of those shortcuts today to help you get past the obstacles that took me so long? Yeah, well, that's great. Okay, well, we got someone from Canada, New Zealand. We got somebody from Bahamas, all over the place. Israel. Well, awesome. Thanks, guys, for sharing. It really is cool that you guys are sharing. And yes, this is going to be available on YouTube later on, so that'll be good. And I'm going to start out right on time, like I always do, because I value your time, and I want to make sure that today gives you value. And so here's what my goal is today is I want to make sure that you have a few tips that can help you accelerate your progress to becoming a successful trader so that you can get to the point where you're making money from home and that you're winning more than you're losing. That's my goal. I want to be able to share some of those things to you. And I know that some of this stuff isn't being taught online all the time. And so I want to share some of the stuff that you might not have even seen before. But I think it will be helpful. And remember, this is not going to get into strategies today. I will get into that later on in a future webinar and in some of the further foundations. But right now, we just want to go ahead and go. And so, again, a little bit about me. My name's Casey Stubbs. I've been trading for 25 years, and I am the founder of Trading Strategy Guides. And the reason that I started Trading Strategy Guides was to try to give traders usable strategies that they could access in today's markets to help them to have success in the markets. And after really experiencing a lot of struggles myself in trading, because I was trading for 25 years, and I have been now, and after just getting a lot of big letdowns and emotional roller coasters and not being able to find out any good information, after looking for information but then not applying it the proper way. I mean, there's a lot of great information online, but the problem was I wasn't applying it. And once I finally learned, now I just want to try to help you guys get to the end goal faster than what I got to it, right? So I'm not anyone special. The only thing that's special about me is that I'm very hard-headed, and I just kept going until I finally figured it out. And so perseverance is one of the big things, but I'm here to try to help you speed that up. So if that's something that you're interested in, just stay tuned and watch this training today, because I'm going to get you to the point where you can have success a lot faster than what I had it, because I learned from the School of Hard Knocks, and I do believe there's a process of learning, but I also believe in learning from others. That's why I study a lot of experts. That's why I buy books. That's why I read. That's why I pay for coaching and training, is because I'm trying to get myself access to the best people so that I can have success in my life. And I want to then in turn pass that on to you guys so that you don't have to make all the tough calls yourself. So I just saw Dwayne said there's too much information, and that is true. There's a lot of information overload. And so today, I hope I'm not going to add to that information overload, because I'm going to give you some things that are a little bit different than what you've seen in the past. And this is going to be really useful, I think. So just take some notes, take fact of it. You can always go back to the training later, watch this video, and get into the course later as well. So here we go. First thing is, once you log in, this is it. This is the course. And again, thank you guys for getting access to it. We're so glad we've been able to help you guys. This is the course right here, and there's 4 modules to the course. You're not going to see all of these right now, because we do something that is called dripping, unless you've been a member for a while. And remember, this is totally free right now. You can access the link below and get access to it from that link if you don't have it yet for free. Okay, now module 1 is the foundation, and if we think about a foundation, we think about a house. That to me is the foundation. When you're building a house, you've got to make that foundation strong, because what happens if the foundation isn't strong? Everybody knows the answer to that, right? The house collapses. You cannot, if you build something on faulty ground, you build a house on sinking sand, you're going to collapse. You have to make a solid foundation. And so what I want to do with this course is help to build out some really solid foundational keys that you can hold on to those keys and unlock the doors to future success. Does that sound like something you guys want to do? Unlock the keys to future success. I know for me, I wish I would have had those keys when I started out. I had to really learn the hard way, but once I started to seek out smart people, that really helped to accelerate it, and so now I want to help you guys. So let's go ahead and dive into the courses here in Foundation 1. So the first one is what is trading? Then the second one is how do you trade and make money? The third is the reality of all markets. And then how markets work, the game of trading, different trading platforms, and everything you need to know about brokers. And so today, into the bonus trading, I'm going to cover a few tips and hits on all of these. Well, I'm not going to cover everything, but the first few I'm going to cover. Okay. So we're going to start out by talking about what is trading. So it seems like trading's pretty obvious. What is trading? But I will tell you that I didn't know some of the very basics when I first got started. I just thought it was making money. All right, I thought that it was making money. But the thing is, with trading, you can actually trade and make bad deals, right? You can trade something and the value goes down. You can trade something that doesn't have the same value for what you have. And so my definition of trading is a little bit different, and that is trying to trade and end up making a profit. That's the ultimate goal of trading, is we want to make a profit when we're trading. And in order to do that, you need to try to get something that increases in value, right? And so the main purpose of trading, and I'm going to stay focused on currency trading here because that's what I do mainly. So like, for example, yesterday I sold the USD yen versus the dollar, right? I sold it. And so my goal was that the value of that trade would increase afterwards so that I could then close the trade and make a profit. And that seems very basic, but it's an exchange of goods. So I exchanged money for shorting to sell the USD versus the yen. And that means that I was expecting the value of the dollar to decrease and the value of the yen to increase, and therefore I would make a profit at the end of the day. And the same thing happens if you want to trade goods and services. Everything in business revolves around trading. As a matter of fact, trading has been around. The stock market hasn't always been around, but the whole function of trading has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And there have been traders for thousands of years. Ever since society was starting, trading was a thing. They would barter for just basic items back in the olden days. And so trading is a very simple concept. It's just evolved and it's gotten more advanced over time to where now people can do it online, and it's a virtual thing, and you never even see anything. There's really no goods ever taking place. It's all in a digital world. But even though the money you make, it's digital, it's still real because you can cash it out and you can put it into your bank account, which is always really cool. Don't you agree with that? That it's really cool to be able to, I mean, some of you older people like me, I'm a little older too, I'm 43. Would you have ever thought that you would have been able to just literally sit on your butt and make money all day in an online world that doesn't even seem to really exist? It's kind of crazy that it's possible, but it really is, and it's working, and it's been working. So on the online world, it's just data taking place. And you can trade all kinds of different instruments. You can trade currencies, you can trade gold, you can trade oil, and now the new thing is trading crypto. It's really exciting to be able to see people be able to trade crypto. It's a different type of currency, cryptocurrency. It's all part of trading. As a matter of fact, when I first started trading, there wasn't even a cryptocurrency. And so that's been a newer thing since I first started. And some of you guys may have been started on the cryptocurrency. And definitely these strategies work for stocks as well. And trading a stock is really the same thing. If you think about it, when you buy a stock, you're buying a piece of the company, right? And what are you expecting to happen when you buy a piece of the company? You're expecting that company to increase in value. And so it's almost like you're owning that company. So if you buy a share of stock in Tesla, then you are actually owning a part of Tesla. And when the company increases in value, when the stock price goes up, your share of that company increases. And so, this totally applies to stocks. Stock trading is trading. And there are some amazing stock trading strategies out there. Right now, it's a little bit crazy because of what's going on in the economy. It's going up and down, but I looked at my stock market account today and it was up about 4%, so that was pretty good. I haven't checked it since this morning, but that was a really good thing that today we were getting a bounce. But with stock trading, it's a little bit more dependent upon what's happening in the economy, but there's some really good stock strategies out there where you can find good stocks to trade even in a bad market. Like, for example, when the market was crashing, there was a stock that came out. It was called Blue Apron. That Blue Apron stock was on fire. It went up like from $3 up to $20 just because everybody started to order food from home because everybody was avoiding grocery stores. And so that stock went crazy. And it was a terrible market. The market was crashing, but Blue Apron was making money. And so there's an opportunity for traders to make money when the markets are moving, even in a bad market. Okay, so that's the basics of trading and how you make money. How you make money, I kind of covered that already, but the basics is you buy low and you sell high, or you sell high and you buy low and you sell high. That's as simple as that, right? Or you sell it high and then you buy it back low when you're shorting. That's actually what I did yesterday. I can actually pull up my chart here to show you a trade that I did. And I might refer back to this a little bit because the trade is still going on here. This is my trading platform. So this is an example of a short trade. Okay, if you guys aren't sure about what a short trade is, it's when you sell the trade and you expect it to go down and you make money. So I took a short trade right up in here. And the cool thing about this is that it was a very tight stop. And I'm not going to get into too much details because that's more of an advanced trade. But the stop loss on this was like 22 points. Okay, and I'm currently up 200, right? So just to get a little basic concept of how you make money, right? Because that's really what we want to talk about how to make money. I risked $200. Let's just use that as a great example. I risked $200, and now I'm up in profit $1,300. Okay, you can see the profit thing there. So I risked 200 to make 13. Now I'm not up 13. I'm up 13, but I haven't closed the trade. If it goes down to hit my target, it'll be $2,500. And I took this trade yesterday about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I really haven't done much since. So the entire time it took me was about 20 minutes to do this, and I could potentially make $2,500. So this is the kind of thing that I'm hoping you guys are going to learn after this course is over. Does that sound like something that you would like to do to make $2,500 in 15 minutes of work? Not bad, 20 minutes of work. Yeah, I would think so. So the whole thing here was I sold it up here, and now I'm going to buy it up here. I sold high, and I'm going to buy low. Now, if I was buying down here, I'm going to buy low and sell high. So that's the basics of how to make money. The other basic factor that you really need to pay attention to this is allowing your trades to move into the target, allowing it to hit a big winner. And we're going to go into a lot of detail on that, but this is just foundational now. You want to start out with a very small risk, like I was saying, and small is relative. To me, a small risk is a $200 risk, but I could make $2,500. So you want to be able to risk a small amount and make a large amount. And that is how you become successful and become a full-time trader. Because a lot of times people will be risking more than what they're making. So a reverse of that. So I'm risking 200 and I could potentially make 2,500. That's a really good risk to reward ratio. But on the reverse side of that, if you're risking $200 and you only make 20, then that is actually the reverse of what you want to do. And that's one of the reasons why most of the traders lose money, is because they don't have big goals. They don't have targets they're trying to hit. So they just do, they take small little profits. They're up a little bit and they get out. They're up a little bit and they get out. So if we take a look at this chart, let me pull it up here by zooming my platform. You can see that this is a uptrend, right? See, the price is moving up long distance over. This is 2017. It's for an entire 6 months, 8 months. This is moving in this direction. And so what you want to try to do is to capture as much of a big move as you possibly can. And if we go down to look at the downward trend here, we want to catch the down move, as much of it as you can, so you can get bigger wins. And it doesn't necessarily have to be over the period of months. You could do it even in a daytime, and we'll break that down a little bit for you as well. But the point is, if you're going to be trading in a day trader, you still want to catch a big move, because these charts, they change based off the time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at it on a daily time frame, then you will be looking at bigger charts, right? If you're looking at it on an hourly, then it's smaller charts, but you can still catch these same kind of moves. So if I go back to this trade that I was looking at, you can see this is a daily chart, and I caught this reversal here. But if we drop it down to a 15-minute time frame, I caught it looks much bigger. The move looks, if I can get it to blow up the proper way, this move looks much bigger. You see how many candles this was and how it's a big downtrend on the 15-minute chart? And I got in all the way up here at the start of this trend, and you can just see how it's been developing. And it's been a really, really good trade. And the thing I want to mention here, and I don't want to get too carried away into advances, I want to talk about foundational stuff, but I really believe this is foundational. And that is that when you're trading, you want to make sure that you let the market carry your move, and you just try to let the market go. Remember, we can't predict the market. That's one of the big advanced things that I want to talk to you about in the next session here. You can't predict it. Okay, so we look at patterns and we try to find things, but a great trader is not one who can predict the market. I was able to predict it yesterday, but the thing that you guys don't know is how many trades before that, one that you saw me make, how many did I lose before that? I could have lost a lot. And I do lose a lot. If we look at some of my spreadsheets that I have shared in my live channel, I have only won 35% of my trades in the last month. 35% of my trades is what I won. And so what does that mean? It means that I've lost 65% of the time. Okay? And so since I've lost 65% of the time, that makes me look like a really bad trader. But it doesn't. Because how do you make money trading? By letting the big winners. If I can lose $100 and make $1,000, well, then I only have to win actually 10% of the time to make money. Does that make sense of how the math works on that? And wouldn't it be great that you don't have to be perfect? Like, think about this. How would you like to learn a strategy where you don't have to be perfect all the time, and you don't have to understand every little detail of what's happening in the markets? You don't have to learn thousands and thousands of ideas and techniques, because you don't have to win that much. I'm winning 35% of the time, and I'm doing exceptionally well. And that's what I want to teach to you guys, is that you can lose. Once you enter into the market, once you take that trade, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, one person said, I I just read the comment here. The news will affect your trade. You might have the perfect pattern, and all of a sudden a news thing comes out and you lose your trade, right? Well, if you're not managing your profits properly, you're going to blow your entire account. Because why? The one time you have a perfect pattern, you're going to put all your money on the trade, the news is going to come out, and it's going to wipe you out, and you're going to lose it. And so I don't do that. I realize that once I get into the trade, there's really only two options. I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose. It's 50-50. I guess you could say I could break even if I move the stop to break even. But there's only so many things that can happen, and the market is going to do what the market is going to do because the world is the world and it's unpredictable. I don't know that there's going to be a coronavirus that's going to come out next week. I don't know those things. I don't know that there's going to be a storm. I don't know that a company's going to lose money. I don't know that someone's going to post a news report. I don't know. There's so many variables that I have no idea about what's going to happen. But what I do know is that if I realize that that's what's going to happen, and I allow myself to let the momentum carry me off, then I can do pretty good. I can win 30% and still make good money because I'm risking $100 and I'm making 500. I'm risking 100 and I'm making 1,000. And when I lose, I only lose my $100, and I'm consistent on that. Okay, so that's really how you make money trading, is by letting the market do what it's going to do. Don't get all worked up over winning and losing. A lot of traders hate to lose, so when the market comes against them, a news story will come against them, and they're like, oh man, the market's going against me. I don't want to lose money, so they remove their stop loss, and they're just going to hold it. The stock market, you're holding your best stock, right? Oh man, this stock is amazing. I love this stock. Well, guess what? It's going down. And the next day, it's going down. And the next day. And the next thing you know, you spent $100 a share. Now it's trading for $1. You lost 90% of your money. Just let the trade loose. Get out of it. And then if the company makes a bounce, you can always get back in. But don't hold on to losers. That's another really important foundation. You make money in trading by not holding on to losers. Okay, and I hope that this trading has been really good. And so far, has this been pretty good for you guys? Have you guys been learning some things? Great, excellent. If you could work from home, spending time with your family, do some of the things that you want to do. That's really what I'm talking about here. And I'll just tell you a little story about me. I've been trading for 25 years, but I didn't actually get really involved in it. I always did it on the side as a hobby. I didn't get involved in it until 2008 when there was an economic collapse. What happened to me was I was in construction and I was working a regular job as construction worker, and the markets collapsed. And the housing market collapsed, and I was a union worker, a laborer for the labor union. So some of you guys may have done that. Maybe some of you guys were laborers in the union. My job was the guy that would dig the ditches. I'd get in the hole with the excavator and dig the stuff out. I was the guy that was carrying the bags of concrete, the guy that was carrying the lumber, the guy that was carrying the shingles and all of that stuff, the guy that was loading the concrete on the wheelbarrow. If any of you guys have ever done that, that's what I did. And I was taking care of my family, and I was still trading on the side, but it was great, great work, hard work, but it paid the bills. Well, the market crashed and all of the jobs dried up. I was working on hospitals and power plants and big jobs like that. Government buildings, things like that, and all the work dried up totally. And I couldn't find work after that. And so, man, I'm like, wow, what do I do? Well, guess what? I started to get more involved in the markets. And because I didn't have a job, it was a great learning experience for me. That's when I really dove into it, and it changed my life. And so sometimes a bad thing can actually be a good thing. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to give this course away, is because I wanted to help out a potential bad thing, right? So if you guys could, I don't know what your circumstances are, but just don't ever give up. Try to come up with a plan. What I did was I came up with a plan and I acted on it, and it ended up helping me. So come up with a plan, learn how to trade, follow our videos, pay attention, send us questions. Our whole team is here to help, and we're, it's good stuff. I'm so glad to see that someone was a laborer here, a brother. Although it's funny because I was really thankful. Gratitude's an important part of my life. I think I'm always grateful, just because I don't control anything. I control my actions, but I've been so blessed, and God has been good to me, and I'm always grateful. And so one of the things that, well, congratulations, Kevin, on your retirement. One of the things I'm grateful for is that I'm not doing that anymore. I enjoyed it at the time. I was grateful for it, but now I'm like, wow, I am so glad I'm not doing that, because I really love what I'm doing now, much more than what I did then. So this has been good. And so if you can see yourself maybe doing something different, then give it a shot. Don't quit your job, though, if you still have one, but try it on the side and see what you can do. It doesn't take a lot of time. Just think about what your life would be like if you were able to make money from home. Okay. So enough about my little side story, but I think it's important that you guys can hear that, so you know what it's like from a real person. You don't always know when you see these guys on YouTube anything about them. I just want to be real and share with you guys about myself, so you can know I'm a real person just like you guys, and I'm not special at all, except for I'm very stubborn. And that is, one of my greatest strengths and also one of my greatest weaknesses. Because I can make the same mistake in the markets 50,000 times in a row and not worry about it and be like, yeah, I'll get this. Just, wow, it's crazy. My stupidity was really strong. But I finally turned things around. Okay, so the reality of all markets. This is a pretty interesting section that I want you guys to really pay attention to, because this is really, I think this is really advanced. It's foundational, but it's really advanced. Okay, so here's the situation with this. The market is a mix of human beings and machines. It's a mix of human beings and machines, but remember, the machines are programmed by humans. So it's really just finding patterns, but a lot of it is based off of emotion. The emotion of fear and the emotion of greed. So let me ask you guys, when the coronavirus hit and all of these businesses were responding and all of the markets were tanking, what scenes? And I think that this is a foundational idea, but it's also something that we need to think about as to what's actually happening. And one of the things people don't really get is they have a lack of understanding of how the market really works. Okay, and the market is driven by people, and we don't actually see the full picture. Okay, we actually have like a veil over our eyes. We don't know what people are doing because everybody's hiding behind a computer screen. Okay, and sorry about that if there was a drop. I did hear that the YouTube was having some problems today, so I apologize. It could have been on my end, but it was more likely YouTube. At least I can blame them anyways. So back to what I was saying. We can't see the reality behind the market. It's like we're seeing shadows. I saw one person describe this before as it's like you're looking at a wall and you can't see the people that are moving behind you, but there's a light shining and those people are moving. But the only thing that you can see is the shadows of those people on the wall. So even though those people are there and they're active and they're doing things, you can't really see what those people are doing. You can only see the shadows. You only get a perception of reality. You don't really see the full thing. And that's what's happening right now in the market, is the price is moving, and it's based off of people's decisions. It's based off of fear and based off of greed. It's based off of what the machines are doing and the patterns and everything that's going on. The market is only responding to those things. And so for us, when we look at a chart, like when I look at a chart, like let me pull that chart back up. When I look at that, when I look at this chart, I'm like, okay, what's happening? And I try to get into I try to figure out what's happening behind the scenes. I'm like, oh man, people are I'll just tell you what I was thinking right here. Okay, because I remember this. See, I'm drawing this line. I'm going to make this line a little bigger so you guys can see it. Let's see here. Okay, so this line was here. Okay, and when this price was moving up, it was moving really strong, but a lot of people were thinking, oh my goodness, this is coming up into resistance. And they're really excited. They're thinking about, oh, how much money they're going to make when they short this. And then they take a short trade. But then guess what happens? The price still goes up. And they're like, oh man, I'm going to move my stop loss. So they move their stop loss. And then the next thing you know, they're like, oh, this can't go up. This is into a resistance area. And then the next thing you know, they add to the position, right? And then the next thing you know, they're down $1,000. And then the next thing you know, there's this big spike right here, and they're down $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000. And then after that, they're in so much pain. They're looking at it and they're like, oh man, I can't do this anymore. And they just push that button and they close the trade out and they lose like 95% of their account. And it's like, oh man. So we talk about fear, we talk about greed, we talk about pain. The market causes people a lot of emotional pain, okay? And so that's what I'm talking about when we're looking at what's happening behind the scenes. There's so many times when I take these trades, like, it's amazing how once I start to get the hang of this, I honestly can see what's happening. I'm not joking. I'm thinking about what these people are doing. Like when this bar was moving up, I was thinking, you know what? These guys are going to get in trouble. I didn't know what was going to happen. I can't predict the future, but I just could feel it. I'm like, you know what? I think this is going to push through because I think everybody's shorting right here, right? And so that's what causes the market to move. And then there's big players in there that are pushing things through and trying to manipulate people. This really is a big game. It's a big game. And so that will take me into one of our modules here. And so once you understand this, guys, this will really help you out. Like this is a foundation that isn't taught too much, but it's foundational information. Okay, and that's in this reality of all markets section. And another part of this that I think is really important here too is this how markets work. Okay, and this is very similar to what I was talking about perception, but this is just based off of basic supply and demand. Okay, and I want to illustrate this in something that's been happening right now. Okay, think about what's going on with the grocery stores. And I don't know where you're at and what's happening around the world, but in my area, there's not a lot of stuff available in the stores. Okay, there's meat is gone, toilet paper is gone, and it's funny. I would have never thought that people would be excited about toilet paper. Like that's never something that I was expecting. I'm 43 years old and I've never seen that before. But it's supply and demand, right? There was a video on YouTube that went viral, and it was this guy, and he's standing on the street, and he's like, "Hey man, I got the stuff," right? And he opens up his coat, and it's a roll of toilet paper, and a guy's giving him $100 bill to pay for that toilet paper, right? And they were pretending like it was drugs, like he was a drug deal, and it was big money. So the point is, that's how the markets work. It's all based on supply and demand, right? So when everybody wants toilet paper and it starts to disappear, people get irrational. Again, we're talking just, people get irrational. Has anybody ever been at an auction? Like I remember when I was at an auction, I bought a car, okay? And it was a really good deal. I got this car for like $950, okay? And me and this other guy were bidding on it. And the car might not have been worth that. But what happened was the emotion got in. It's like, okay, I want this car. That's why auctions usually sell stuff for a lot more. I want this car. I'm going to bid more. And then you might have a price in mind. You might say, I'm going to pay $1,000 for the car. But you get caught up in the emotion and you keep bidding, and the next thing you know, you end up paying $1,500 for a car that you were only going to spend $1,000 on because it was the only car that was available and everybody was in a bidding war, right? And you wanted that thing. And that's what happens in the markets. The price goes up, everybody's bidding back and forth, they want it, the prices are going, and everybody gets caught up, and then once it happens, it starts to flow, and then the price will skyrocket or it will drop. It's based off of supply and demand. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's logical. It doesn't mean that that's really what something's worth, but something is worth what people are willing to pay for it. And when emotions are involved, people don't make wise decisions. When it's fear, greed, pain, all of these things, people do not make wise decisions in that scenario. And so, this supply and demand thing, again, when you're looking at the charts, there's areas on the chart that you know that this kind of stuff is going to happen. And so let me pull up my chart here real quick. Like this support zone, you see there's a zone, this here, 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 and here. This is where the prices has been in the past. And right here, look at this. On this daily chart, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times that this level was tested. And there's battling going on here for the price, and it's based off of supply and demand. Lots of people are buying, lots of people are selling. No one can win because it's going back and forth, right? But when the market is surging in one direction, that's why when I'm looking for a support and resistance area, I'm looking for a big burst of price because I know that when there's a strong demand, it'll bust right through that zone. And when it does, you can expect the acceleration to continue even further. And it'll go a lot further sometimes than what you even think it will because of all the emotions that are involved. Because once people see that momentum, everybody wants to get on the winning side. And so everybody jumps on board. And then that pushes it forward even more. And then it comes, we talk about fear, but then the whole thing about fear of missing out happens. Okay? Fear of missing out. And that's all really interesting things to think about to help you become better at being a trader. And this is all foundational stuff that I don't think you're going to learn in a lot of these other courses. So this has been bonus material. And I'm going to put this actually inside the members area too, just because I think it's some really good stuff. If I do say so myself. Ha ha. Okay, so let's keep on moving. So supply and demand is really important in trading, and there's a lot of details in here. I just kind of covered it all. But think about this, guys. Remember, I'm trying to help you get to the point where you can be successful. And if you could learn some of these things and start to be able to take profits out of the money over and over again, start to take profits out of the market on a regular basis, think about what that would do for your life. This stuff is real, and it can really benefit you. And I know that you would love to be able to do this, or at least when I was in your spot, I was really excited about it. Okay, so we talked about that, and now this is going to be the last portion, and this is actually really interesting as well. And this is it's in the same ballpark, but I talk about this calling the game of trading. Okay, and this, guys, this is really good. Okay, look, statistics, right? Statistics have shown time and again that the majority of traders lose money, right? And this is it. How many times have you guys heard 95% of traders lose, right? And I will tell you that number is probably true. But I'm not telling you that to scare you or to say that this is hard, because it's not hard. It's psychological. The biggest challenge, the battle's in your mind, right? This stuff is actually really easy. And I'm here to help you to get to that place where you can say, oh yeah, this is easy. And I want you to learn these things without having to struggle, right? I think struggling at some point is part of the process, at least for me. I like getting kicked in the face a few times because it wakes me up. But it's kind of funny because I think about a small child, right? I got 9 kids, so I was cooking breakfast with my daughter this week. And we had a flat pancake grill on the table. And it's really a hot grill. And she went down, and I don't really know what she was doing, but she put her face on the grill. And so she's got this mark on her chin right now, this big old burn mark. And I didn't even know that it happened until afterwards, because I always try to pay attention, but I didn't know it happened. I'm like, what is that mark on your face? She's like, I hit my face off the grill, right? And so sometimes the pain can be good because you can learn a lesson, right? So I'm pretty sure she learned a valuable lesson from that. And so you got to face some of this stuff, and it's good for you. But just don't do it so that it takes you out of the game, right? You just want a small little wound, not a big one, right? Not that it will take you out of the game. And that is what this is. It's a game. It's the game of trading. And one of the things that's involved in the game of trading is statistics. Statistics and mathematics and understanding that what your edge is over other traders, because the truth of the matter is, when you enter into a trade, you're either going to win or lose. It's 50-50. You could throw break even in there too, but you're either going to win, lose, or break even. I don't really think about break even too much. I don't move my stops to break even that often. But you're either going to win or lose, 50-50. And it doesn't matter how good your patterns are. Because once the pattern might be the best in the world, but once you're in that trade, the market is going to do what it's going to do. And you have to believe that. If you believe, and I'm going to stand by this, but if you believe that your strategy is so wonderful, it's going to cause you to make mistakes. And it's going to cause you to make financial mistakes and money management mistakes, because money management is critical for this success. Money management is absolutely critical, and this mindset thing is critical. The game of trading, understanding that it's a statistics game, and if you can let the market, the momentum of the market, that's where your edge comes from. For me, once I'm in a trade, it's 50-50. And I'm just going to now allow the momentum to carry me on to bigger winners. And again, another part of this game too, though, is getting inside the mind of other traders. Now, you're not actually mentally competing with another trader. Like, think about like chess or something when you're doing one-on-one. When you're playing chess with another person, there's a lot of strategy involved. Right? You look at where he moves his rook. You move your pawn. You move the bishop. He moves the queen. Right? You have to respond to what the other players on the board are doing. And that's exactly what's happening in trading. One of the things that's really interesting is the game of rock, paper, scissors, right? Very, very interesting. Like rock, paper, scissors is, there's really only three things that can happen. Rock, paper, scissors. It seems totally random. But did you know that you can be really good at it because you get inside the mind of the players you're playing against? Right? I've got an article here. I posted the link. I'm not going to really go over it too much, but it says here that scientists find a winning strategy for rock, paper, scissors. A new study applies statistics, probability, and psychology to rock, paper, scissors. If you guys are really interested in getting an edge in your trading, read this article. Okay, I posted the link in the description below later on because there's so many different elements to this. It's just a three-part game. Rock, paper, scissors, and yet there are so many different elements that are involved in having success because it's a game. You're trying to outmaneuver your opponent, you're trying to outthink your opponent, you're trying to get into their head. And trading, you're not actually there with your opponent, but remember, there's a massive field of millions of other traders, computers, all of these other components in the game. And we got to realize what our statistical edge is and understand that it is based on statistics and there's a lot of psychology involved, but we want to know what the other traders are doing. And we want to make our decisions based on that. Okay, now this is not, I'm not even talking about entry levels or any of that stuff. I'm just talking about basic stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't even thinking about what's happening in the market. You know, if you want to see what's happening, what people are doing, watch TV, watch CNBC. I personally don't because I just don't think those guys have really, most of the stuff they say to me on there isn't really that intelligent, right? But it does help me. It helps me to see what other people are thinking and to get into their head a little bit. But I don't focus on that too much. But understand what's happening behind the markets. Okay, so. So I wanted to go over all that with you and to just let you guys know that we're here to try to help you shortcut this thing. And as I said before, I've been through a lot of experience. I've experienced a lot of things. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I want to just help you get to the next level without having to make all the mistakes that I made. So if that makes sense to you, does that make sense to you that you could have success without going through all the same pain that I went through? And that's really one of the things that helped me get out of it, was when I realized that I could learn from smarter people than me. And now I do that consistently through reading and other things. So hopefully that you guys enjoyed this stuff. One of the things I wanted to ask, and I really need some honest feedback because I've got some feedback already, but I know that a lot of people are not having a ton of money, and that's one of the reasons why I posted this for free, this course. And by the way, if you didn't get the course, it's downloadable for free. But would you guys be interested in a course that talks about how to grow a small account quickly? There's a few things that are different with a small account, and I've got a lot of attention right now, and I'm getting some feedback. So if that would be something that you guys would be interested in, please just let me know in the comments, because I am seriously considering putting something like that on, where I would show you guys all the details and walk you through on how to actually grow a small account and do it rather quickly, because I know that when you're in that position, you can't really make a living on it. And it takes a long time to slug it out day in and day out in the markets if you don't have any guidance. So hit that like button on this video, subscribe, hit the notification, and I'll let you know if that's coming out. I'm getting a lot of people that are saying yes, that they're interested in that. So that's really good, because I want to help you guys out with that. So since I'm getting some feedback from that, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to do it. So just be on the lookout for it. Okay. Awesome. And go ahead and go through this module, guys. If you have any questions, hit us up. Hit up our YouTube channel. That's where I spend most of my time. Our support's in there to help out. But again, we want to help you, right? Our goal is to see you guys have success. If you're not having success, then we're not. So thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. But it was a great feedback, great participation. Keep looking out for the next module on the training, and be looking out for the growing the small account training. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks a lot.